So today on the Landscape Lowdown, I am going to talk about winter interest regarding shrubs and trees that drop their leaves. There are a ton of different plants out there, and it is crazy to keep track of them all. But here are a few different groups that I would recommend using as winter interest. So the first group are those that flower. The only ones that really come to mind for this is the group of hydrangeas. So hydrangeas are a great option for winter interest because those flowers actually hold on through the winter time. So you can leave those up and you can actually enjoy them through the winter. Now they're not going to have the same color they did, and so that is oftentimes where the delineation is between those that think they're pretty and those that don't. So sometimes cutting those off is a standard practice, but you can actually leave them up through the winter, and you can enjoy them as dried flower stalks on the plant throughout the winter. They really contrast super well in the snow or up against different backdrops. Really can provide you some great winter interest. The second group I'm going to talk about are those that have an ornamental bark to them. So these ones are probably, there's a wide variety of different plants that have ornamental bark. We just don't notice it because we're always looking at the foliage, and we don't really pay attention to it in the winter because we're inside maybe, or maybe we just aren't paying attention to it. So these are things that really pop in the winter. Some of those things would be like our dogwoods. So there are actual dogwood shrubs that are extremely cool because they have red bark. So a red twig dogwood and a yellow twig dogwood are the two I'm talking about. You got red twig to the red twig dogwood and a yellow twig to the yellow twig dogwood. They are really an interesting plant, great for areas where it's really wet. Be aware that there are different sizes in these as well. So you want to be careful of the cultivar you choose, because some of them can get 6, 8, 10 feet tall, and they also colonize, so they spread out. So you got to be careful with the use of these, but they are a good option as far as winter interest is concerned in certain applications. The second plant I want to talk about in this group is Japanese maples. So Japanese maples also have some cultivars of trees that are going to have that red bark. They're going to have that green bark or that yellow bark that could be considered winter interest. Obviously, the ones that are going to be more bright are going to be the red bark Japanese maples, those ones that have the real brilliant red stalks to them, but there's other opportunities in some of these other colors to utilize in the landscape as well. The third type of plant I'm going to talk about is going to be a river birch. So river birch is one that actually has an exfoliating bark, has lots of white and cinnamon and brown colors and textures in the plant. So this is a great opportunity for winter interest. And then the next one is going to be a paperbark maple. It has a very similar habit to its bark. It peels, it exfoliates, but it has a much deeper, richer, more cinnamon color to it that is going to have some variations throughout its bark. So it's a really cool one to look at too in the winter. The third group we're going to talk about is those that fruit. So obviously when you have that bright red fruit on a plant, It really pops up against the snow or in the landscape. So it is a great option to use. So some of these plants would be our winterberry holly. That is a great option for this particular application. It has the red berries. It has variations in its cultivars. You got little miniature style of plants, dwarf plants, and then you've got some of these larger plants you can use as well. So you, again, choosing the right one for the right location is super important. And then the other one I wanted to mention was something like a crabapple tree. So an ornamental tree that has that fruit can really be pretty cool as well as a winter interest in the landscape. The added bonus to things that fruit, you get the birds that come in. So you'll have lots of different types of birds coming in to get that fruit, and you can see some cool birds come in. So there's some like, well, they're gonna eat all my fruit anyways. Well, at least you'll hopefully be able to see a cardinal or some of the other unique birds around that you don't always see. So that is the overview of the winter interest for trees and shrubs that drop their leaves. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to add anything to this, please comment, message us if you have any questions, or if you're interested in any of our services. We'll catch you later.